Humans may be one step closer to destroying the world, or at least that's what scientists behind the Doomsday Clock think.
Should you worry about the Doomsday Clock?
This is the Doomsday Clock.
The so-called Doomsday Clock.
Doomsday Clock.
The Doomsday Clock.
The Doomsday Clock.
Every year, the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists sets the Doomsday Clock.
Today, the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists leaves the Doomsday Clock unchanged.
Any move towards midnight should be taken as an indication of extreme danger. It is now 89 seconds to midnight.
The Doomsday Clock.
Doomsday Clock.
First conceptualized in 1947 as an indicator of how close humanity was to nuclear Armageddon, the Doomsday Clock has since become a widely known and widely mocked event. A bunch of serious-looking people in suits show up to unveil a cardboard clock with an arbitrary number on it that is meant to represent the amount of time we have left until humanity inevitably destroys itself. But does the Doomsday Clock deserve all of the hate that it gets? Yes. In 1947, when the Doomsday Clock was first conceived, there was a growing amount of concern that somebody was going to blow up the world. A man by the name of Eugene Rabinowitch, the editor of the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists, decided it would be fun to create some kind of image that would represent the danger. He hired artist Marta Langsdorff, and she came up with a clock. She set the time on the inaugural Doomsday Clock to 7 minutes to midnight because, in her words, it looked good to my eye. I think that might be the logic they use when they set it every time. And since 1947, the esteemed people at the Bulletin have been busy playing with their clock, moving it back and forth over the years as various political events took place. So, what's wrong with that? Why do I have such a strong opinion on someone else's clock? Good question. Let me tell you. My first problem with the Doomsday Clock is that it is not a clock. A clock is a timekeeping device that moves to the right in a circle, as you may have heard, clockwise, and the minute and hour hands tell you what time it is. The Doomsday Clock is 1/4 of a clock that moves arbitrarily back and forth depending on the opinions of the people setting it. To be honest, the Doomsday Clock really functions more like a danger meter, which is why I have created an alternate design for the Bulletin to consider. Behold, David's dastardly destructive dangerous Doomsday delineation dial. So the way my danger meter works is we have these categories: problematic, sus, mega sus, nasty work, diabolical, cringe, and then the last category is just a picture of the uncanny Mr. Incredible skull. So all you have to do is you set the arrow to the desired category to let us know how much danger we are in. And I think this will be a lot more useful for what the Bulletin is trying to portray. And in addition, I believe that David's dastardly destructive dangerous Doomsday delineation dial will be far more effective at capturing the attention of people who are too young to know how to read an analog clock. My second major problem with the Doomsday Clock is that I believe it is outdated.
Upgrades, people! Upgrades!
The clock was created when many people were concerned about the growing tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union, and the possibility of nuclear proliferation that would eventually result in an all-out nuclear war, destroying humanity entirely.
We almost blew ourselves up.
But after the Soviet Union faded into irrelevance in the early 1990s, the whole concept of the clock counting down didn't really make sense anymore. But rather than retire the Doomsday Clock, the good people over at the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists decided to just start adding other factors to their calculations. In 2007, they started considering climate change as an indicator used to set the clock, and by 2020, digital misinformation had made the list. As of 2025, AI is included in the list of threats that causes the scientists to decide when they will set the Doomsday Clock. So instead of counting down to nuclear Armageddon, it now feels like the clock is just sort of counting down to bad things happening.
He's just standing there, menacingly!
In which case, I regret to inform you, Bulletin of Atomic Scientists, but we are far past midnight. I'd say it's about 3 a.m. A bulletin of atomic scientists. You up?
Wake up. Bulletin of Atomic Scientists.
My third major problem with the clock is that I no longer feel like it's being used to reflect major world-altering events. From 1947 to 1973, the clock was moved by the editor of the bulletin, Eugene Rabinowitz. During Rabinowitz's tenure, the clock was moved 7 times total in 26 years. After Rabinowitz died in 1973, the editorial board took over the duty of moving the clock, and they moved it a grand total of 11 times in 35 years. Then, in 2008, the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists decided to create
the Science and Security Board,
and they entrusted the board with the sacred duty of touching their clock. These are the members of the board. Oh, no, sorry. These are all the members of... No, sorry, wait, one more time. Yes, these are all the members of the board. That is correct. The board features 18 total members. These are the people who set the clock. Oh, except for Dave Kuhlman, who has it specifically listed in his bio that he does not set the clock. Dave took one look at that thing and said, I am not touching your clock. And these are qualified people, theoretical physicists, environmental scientists, and former California Governor Jerry Brown. These are the people who know when Doomsday is coming. Anyway, since Jerry and the board took over, the clock has moved 8 times in the last 17 years. Which, at this point, makes it seem like maybe the board just really likes touching their clock. And I'm not saying that these people are unintelligent or unqualified. I mean, look at all those titles. But do we really need a group of rich academics to stand stone-faced in front of a $15 cardboard clock and point to it as if they've created an infallible formula for determining when the world will end? Also, what happens if someone moves the clock by accident? So, as you can see, we now have just 45 seconds left until midnight. Humanity is on the verge of destroying itself. My colleague Dave Kuhlman will explain more. Thank you for the introduction. So, as you can see, the Doomsday Clock now sits perilously close to destruction. Even the slightest upset or action could cause this hand to go past midnight. Oh my god. Oh my god, Dave, what have you done? He's killed us all. I didn't say your goodbyes to your loved ones. Pray to whatever god you believe in. Dave has destroyed the world. We are all going to die. It was an accident. I was just trying to... I think I fixed it. I think we're good, actually. I think everything's okay. Well, false alarm, everybody. Sorry about that. Dave, you are never allowed to set the Doomsday Clock again. Yeah, no, that makes sense. My final major problem with the Doomsday Clock is that I don't really understand what the point of it is. Let's say I buy into everything you're selling and completely agree with you about when the world will end and humanity will destroy itself. What do you want me to do about it? Sure, it's very scary when a bunch of very smart people stand in front of a small clock and tell you that we're 2 minutes to midnight on nuclear Armageddon. But what do you expect us to do about it? Is this a case of nuclear Armageddon will surely come for us all unless Rob Thompson of Iroquois, Minnesota begins separating his papers and plastics? Or is this more directed at world leaders? Because if that's the case, I don't think it's going to go how you think it will. Tell them I want to eliminate the EPA, eliminate the Department of Transportation. We're going to eliminate the Department of Education for sure. Oh, sir, I'm afraid I've got bad news. I thought I told you I didn't want to be bothered. What is it? The Bulletin of Atomic Scientists has changed the time on the Doomsday Clock. Oh my god, they've moved the clock. This is a big problem. This is big trouble. This might be the biggest problem we've ever dealt with. What are they setting the clock to? Sir, they've set the Doomsday Clock to 89 seconds to midnight. Oh my god, they set the clock to 89 seconds. This is big trouble, folks. This is big problem. Clear my schedule. Cancel all my meetings. Tell Elon we're going to have to postpone movie night. There is nothing else that we can focus on until we convince the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists to move the clock back. It's the only way, folks. We have got to fix the clock. You know, I knew a guy named Corn Pop once. He was a real bad dude. Corn Pop liked to take your leg hairs and you've got to be kidding me. Who let Joe Biden get in here? I thought I told you to change the locks. You know, this is the third time this week. All right, we've got to stop this. Why? I'm sorry, sir. I don't know how he got in again. I will take care of this. I'm sorry. So, there you have it. While I do understand the original purpose of and reasoning behind the Doomsday Clock, I feel that it has outlived its usefulness. Oh, and on the official FAQ, the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists claim that the clock is not political. However, when you go to the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists homepage, you're led to this article, which if you click it, will immediately take you to this page. So, I'll let you draw your own conclusions on that one. Well, that's it for now. Until Armageddon inevitably arrives, and the last television broadcast any of us ever see is the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists laughing in our face while they slowly move the hand of the clock to midnight, I am the one and only David of David's Day Vids, signing off.